November's edition of Engine Room Chat. I'm Glenn from A Life Full of Me. Got Chili Jam Jeff below me. We've got Barely Floating Soul next to Jeff, and we've got Narrowboat Changing Place Dave next to me on my that way. And we are going to go around in our normal format. We've got a couple of things to talk about, and we'll go around and see what everyone's been up to for the last month. And we've got a couple, and we'll do that first. Yeah, we'll go around and a couple of get everyone. We'll start with Dave, seeing as you're next to me. What you been up to, mate?
What have I been up to? Oh, Gordon Bennett. Well,
How far
the
have you
ongoing
moved?
we have moved. We've moved a little bit, not too far. We're heading down to River Severn, heading down to Gloucester. But we haven't hit the river yet, but we're not far off. But I've been battling with the boat really. We're eating this ongoing saga with the eating. Since you came, Glenn, I've ripped out all the alterations that I did that Sol advised me to do, which didn't work, much to my chagrin and Sol's amusement. So after we talked, we sort of like said, right, I'm gonna strip it all out, put it back together, how it were, which I did last weekend. Got it working. Thought I've cracked this, great. So radiator worked, eating worked, marvellous. This were at sort of like 8:30 Sunday night. Woke up to go to work Monday morning, 10 to 5. Louise got out of bed and put her feet down on carpet and it went through. And the radiator had leaked and emptied the whole system into the bottom of the boat. That would have great.
Oh no, man!
So what it had done is, I think I'd sort of like renew all pipe, and I'd used that plastic push fit pipe, and as it had contracted, as it had cooled, the pipe it pulled apart one of push fit fittings and just leaked all water out, all antifreeze out of the system.
Oh dear.
So this weekend I redid it, gave it a bit of flex so it could contract and expand, and that got that working yesterday. Everything seems fine, no leaks in the system. So that were all right, but we're also having problems. Problems with his batteries. They're not holding charge. We've got smart gauges that tells you percentage of charge, and we're sort of like losing 20%, 25% at battery overnight. So yesterday I decided to take the 5 leisure batteries off and test them individually to see if any of them were bad. You know, I thought if one of them were bad and it were dragging bank down, I could just take it out. But all 5 were in 12.6 volts standing. So I rigged them up to a little inverter and run me power drill off it to see voltage drop on batteries. None of them dropped below 12 volt while inverter were going, and they all recovered back up to 12.6. So I think they're just all wearing out. There's not one that were bad. So I ended up putting them all back, which were a feat in itself, because there's not much room in my battery bank, and lugging 5 batteries in and out at engine bay weren't my idea of fun. But so I got all that back together, and I think I'm just going to have to replace batteries.
How old are they, Dave?
Well, 3 of them are 2 years old, just 2 years old, and the other 2 are about 4 years old. But when I replaced the 3, I had them all checked out at South Yorkshire Batteries. So the 2 old ones I put back in were both 90% efficient. So it was more or less 5 brand new
I
batteries.
wonder it'd be interesting to see what they were sitting at now, though. If you took all 5 in, what the 2 older ones were sitting there, because they've got to have gone, they've got to have dropped. It's almost like your old batteries were probably, your new batteries will be at 90%, and your old batteries might be at 70.
Yeah. I thought when I'd split them all up and tested them individually, I thought we're doing a drop on it with inverter and power drill. If they dropped down to about 11 under load, I'd have eliminated them, but none of them dropped below 12 under load.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's more or less what they do. So,
how is it?
Yeah, I think when we had problem with starter battery at beginning of year, when RCR came out, he got a volt drop meter, and it's just like it's like an heavy duty heater that when they switch it on, it drags all power out at battery. If it drops down to like 10 or 11 volts, it means one of your cells knackered in your battery. But you know, they only dropped down to 12, and they all did exactly the same. They all recovered. So I don't know. I don't know whether to take them in to be tested or just buy bullet and buy 5 new batteries. And so that's where I am at the moment with that. I've done a couple of other little jobs on boat. You know, just general maintenance.
Did you manage to get the water out all right that had leaked?
Yeah, just mopped it out. It all leaks into the bottom corner. I've got one floorboards in front of where the stove is. Just set that up and just mopped it up. This has happened more than once, and I think I showed you, Sol, didn't I, when you came, that we were. I picked that up because we do get a lot of condensation in boat. So I'm always in there checking. But what we did try is rather than hanging us washing inside, we were in summer we were drying it outside. But you know them bags of crystals that you can get for like wardrobes to keep moisture down. What we did, we got one of them and we hung it up in when we put washing out, we hung that up, and that tended to take moisture out of air as we're drying us close. So I think we'll just continue to do that throughout winter.
Yeah, but at least it's working anyway.
The heating's working.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about it for me.
That's enough, Dave. That's enough. I think you've done more than any of us. Strip that out how many times, and God knows what.
Yeah, I'm sick to back teeth of that heating system on, but I'm really getting me down. It is, and I know it's getting into Louise and that. But yeah, hopefully after Jeff's party, I can sort of like start putting both back together, get boxing in done back, and sort of like get boat into some semblance of shape, and and move on
Louise has
to
just said,
next class.
Louise has just said, I only have one rad.
Yeah, we had two, but I think that was the problem where it were boiling over because there were too much water in the system. So I've took it down to one radiator in bedroom, and it seems to be working okay. Touch wood.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've got hot water now. So you got hot water and you got.
We've got heating. We've got fire. So yeah, I changed glass on stove for BSS. We got through BSS all right.
I saw Dave's cylinder cover. I saw his gas cylinder cover.
Oh yeah.
Very well engineered piece of metal it is too.
It has its advantages being an engineer and knowing these fabricators to help you out in your hour of need.
Yeah, I've just seen a message from Misty Waters and Narrowboat Live. Says joined late. Sorry, what heating system is it? Out of interest,
it's an old 2928 boiler. It's the
like
long,
gas,
tall, narrow one.
Yeah, it's like the height. I've seen them before in a few hire boats. I think that similar sort of thing, tucked behind the sort of bathroom type or somewhere along there, isn't it? Type of deal. So, and it runs off gas, doesn't it?
Yeah, off LPG, off propane. So, I think we'll sort of endeavour. We'll sort of like endure it till it packs up completely, and then we'll have to look at something else. Whether we go for one of them hurricane heaters or something like that, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, she's Misty Waters said gas tool job. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a tool. So the whole, pretty much the whole height of the boat, isn't it?
Yeah,
goes right to the top. Yeah. So that's exactly what it is. It's one of those guys. As I say, I've only seen one before, but when I saw the casing of it, I realised it was very, very similar. So So that's you're pretty much done now. You think, touch wood, everything's back together?
Yeah, on eating wise, yeah, there's a few other little jobs that I've got to get back to. I'm going to replace all the fuse boards because some LEDs are a bit iffy and some switches are a bit iffy. So rather than pull them out and replace switches, I think I'm just going to buy 2 new fuse boards, same as what's in, and replace them all, and then use what I've got off my old bits as spares. But that's probably a job for next spring.
Yeah.
I've still got windows to sort out, window ledges or window surrounds, and a few other little bits and pieces.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, cool. Thanks for that, Dave. That was a mammoth. What have you been up to?
Being busy and got nowhere.
Yeah. Well, you fixed it, mate. It worked. So that's the main thing. It's a shame that it leaked, and it's a shame your batteries are on the way out. But that's boating.
It is. That's boating. Pleasure of boating, in it.
That is absolutely so. And your battery bank gets used a lot because obviously there's someone on your boat all the time. So
yeah,
it's gonna get spanked.
It is.
So anyway, we'll go to Sol then. See what Sol's been up to in the last month.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's gone on. Broken vans, broken bits and bobs, but I finally got around to replacing that exhaust section, that big 2-inch section I bought quick. Yeah, well, when I found out all the fittings I needed to buy, it was cheaper to buy a new one at 1.5 inches. So I did that. I got a new flexi pipe, and then I hadn't realised it was too long, so I ended up having to take all the exhaust off and cut it down. And oh, what a nightmare! It took me about 4 hours to do it, but I got that back on. That's all working nice now. We've done the fire, fitted a new glass to the fire. Just got to put a new catch on it because the catch I've got is a bit bent and a bit old. So I'm going to put a new bolt through that. I've noticed we came down the glassing flat and we got stuck in a load of weed. It was really bad. Right at the bottom, it was just thick, and down the weed hatch 3 or 4 times. But I've got this loud ticking noise now, and I'm thinking I might have dragged some rubbish through from tank and done one of my injectors up, or my diesel pump's got a bit clogged up with it. But I need to talk to Jeff about that, really.
What's it doing?
Yeah, really quite loud. It's like a really loud ticking noise.
Injector won't make it tick. It'll misfire. If it was an injector, of a misfire or smoke.
I get a lot of smoke when I put heavy revs on.
What, black, white, blue?
And
white and diesel.
Yeah, so I know my pump. So, I've got to turn my pump back a bit, so I just take my pump out thing. But yeah, it was a weird ticking noise. It's like really quite loud at times. I thought it was because the collar on my exhaust had snapped pretty much, and there was a big hole. And it was just, I thought, oh, that might be it. Anyway, it's not gone away with me putting this new exhaust bit on. So
what you want to do is get a broomstick, put it to your ear, and move it around the engine, and you'll locate it wherever it's loudest. And you'll find roughly where it is.
Could it be a valve?
It might be.
It's like a really loud rattling noise. Yeah.
Video it and send it to me.
I will do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it speed up? Sol, does it speed up when you put more revs on?
Yeah, it speeds up. It gets louder then. The ticking noise.
Louder and more not sort of knocky ticking, yeah.
Yeah, sort of thing. I thought I've run out of oil because it took us 6 hours to get through about a mile, and I had the engine on and off. I was down in the weed hatch that many times, which is a nightmare in mine because I have to clamber around under engine, over engine, and I've got exhaust right next to me here.
Right. A hot exhaust.
A hot exhaust right next to me here as well.
Has the ticking started since you fixed the exhaust?
No, it was before then. It was just before.
You sure it ain't a manifold blowing?
No. No, I'll have to have a look at that. Well, I'm going down into, because I've got to go over and have a look at that inspection hatch, the oil breather. That's my next job.
Just make sure your exhaust manifold ain't blowing, because that would make a ticking noise.
Yeah.
Let's video it and send it to me, all right?
Yeah, I will do. I'd given it some revs, and when I backed off, it started ticking. But the engine was hot as hell because it had been going for 6 hours on that and stuck in weed and everything.
Definitely get a pole, anything, broom handle or anything, and just put it on the engine and move it around, and you're already getting loud when you get an idea where it could be exhaust manifold blowing.
Yeah.
It could even be if you've been mucking about with
I'll give that a good check over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Video it, send it to me.
Yeah, and I've got a major oil leak, and it looks like it's coming from front of engine as well. It's dripping quite badly, but I keep just topping it up and clearing the other stuff up.
You just take the hook the seal out and put a new seal in.
That's it's a bit of a nightmare to get at because I've got that much to get it at everything, so it's a bit of a pain.
Bottom pulley crank seal.
Yeah, big crank seal.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Not
it spraying it all everywhere, or is it just dripping?
Just dripping. Just drips on one of the, just off the front as it's getting blown back by the looks of things. So I'm pretty sure it's one of the front.
Sprays everywhere, but if it ain't spraying, it's more like a sump gasket leak.
It's above the sump gasket that's dripping, unless it's coming out and getting blown back again.
Normally, when the seal goes and the pulley's going round, it flicks it everywhere, all up the walls everywhere. If it ain't doing
it's not
that,
doing that.
it's the seal.
Wonder if it's the pump seal. Have you got a hand pump thing, the oil pump?
Might get the back
Yes,
on it.
I put it in the engine.
Get a mirror
Yeah.
on a stick. Again, get a stick and tape a mirror to it and put it down
Yeah.
there and have a look.
Or just buy
Yeah.
an expensive mirror? They're not dear.
Or buy a mirror on a stick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one. I got one with a magnet. So I got
Yeah,
one
I've
of
got
them.
one with a torch on the end of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was that's mine, woes.
Clicks otherwise.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
So yeah,
Oh,
that's
what?
my woe. So the only other thing I do now is fit our bed. We've got a new.
Is
We're
it?
going to do cross bed instead of an inline bed.
Yeah.
So
Have you
I've
done
got all
yet?
that made up. Got to buy the timber now and then fit all that in. But we're not having a van. Can't carry any timber.
We can't carry it. So, just a quickie. Dale says evening from Dawn and Dale. So, hello, Dale.
You know he's retired.
He's retired. Yeah, we know Dale's retired. And Lee said Jeff knows so much about engine. He's not just a pretty face. And then Misty Waters on Narrowboat Life said, I'll put this actually. Let me see if I can highlight this. It's not coming up at the side, but no, I'll read it. It's all right. He says, don't get mad at me. I keep saying it. Check your crankcase oil breather. You probably blown a seal due to back pressure.
That's my next job.
Yeah,
I think Jeff said that a few times, ain't you?
I've been trying to get to it. Everything else keeps breaking.
Yeah.
You normally tell with that block, if you take the rocker cover lid off when you're running it, it'll breathe like hell out the top of its block.
Yeah.
All right. I'll say yet another canal adventure says Paul's got an electric insulated mirror so he doesn't get a shock from what he sees. So that's about you. Is that you done then? So
that's me. Yeah, for now.
Yeah. So Jeff, what have you been up to?
Well, we've been out a few times. Fitted a little fuse box because I put a socket for a one of these cool boxes you plug in, and I just put an inline fuse with like 2 spade connectors in it. So I took that out now and put a proper fuse box in there. Done that. I was going to change the oil on it, but I dipped the oil and it's not really black. It's going, but it ain't worth doing yet. Next, she wants a washing machine. So we've decided I think the best place for it is in the toilet or in the bathroom. But then the only thing I'm worried about is if I have the electric, if it's plugged in, if I put it in the cupboard, would that be all right? Will it pass the BSS? Because electric in the bathroom.
Yeah, no, I saw a wide beam that had it's the whole washing machine tumble dryer in its bathroom.
It doesn't get that wet in there because obviously you're on the boat. You don't have mega long showers. You just in quickly.
4 minutes in Lisa's case.
Yeah. But then what I know as well. Maybe you old boys will know because the easiest for it is going to be in the bathroom. So what we're going to do is take the cupboard out that the sink's on top of, put the washing machine there, make a shelf, and then put one of them bolt-on sinks on top. Yeah. Well, what I know is if I use a T-piece to go out the boat, the drainage out, then you buy a T-piece with a flap inside. So when the water's pumping out the machine, it goes out and doesn't come back up the sink.
Yeah, you need a non-return valve.
Yeah, can you get them in a T-piece, or you just have to have 2 of them?
I think you'd have to have 2. I don't think you'll get one in the T-piece.
All it needs is a flap, isn't it? So the water pushes the flap, and then it can come the other way. So yeah, that's where I think we're gonna. But I've got to take the bathroom wall down, or half of it down, to get it in, because obviously it won't go through the door.
Yeah.
Are you having a full side one, Jeff?
Well, the smallest one as possible. I think they do a 3
kilo one. I said, didn't they? Yeah. So new to make a 3 kilo one.
That's what we've got.
How big is it? As big as as wide as a normal one, or is it? What's the difference size wise?
No, it's about 4 or 5 inch narrower than a kitchen cupboard.
Yeah. Hundreds normally they are, aren't they?
That'll probably go through that door then.
Not as high. Yeah, you get it. I can get ours inside the kitchen cupboard easily.
Yeah.
Just whether it goes through the bathroom door.
It's like I looked at the other day. There's like 2 sections. So I think if I have to, I just have to take the wall down and then put it in and put the wall back.
Yeah, maybe Dave can measure it, send you what model it is, and then you can see whether how it'll fit. Because if it's a little bit smaller, I know they're not as high either, are they? So that means you'll have more room for your shelf.
Yeah, because it's going to have to go. It's either that or it goes in the kitchen or in the galley next to the sink. But whatever we do, everything's going to be that side. So the cooker's that side, the stove's that side, the settee's that side, and now the washing machine's going to be that side. Because you've got the radiators the other side, and there's nowhere to put it. And if I put it the other side, I've then got to try and I'll put another outlet outside of the boat and then still get water to it. So it's going to be easier. Although everything's one-sided, it's still going to be easier to do it that way.
Yeah.
So we might just have to put some more ballast in the cupboard at the front where I'll put some.
Yeah, just over the other side, just to even it out a bit.
More slabs in it.
Because I presume the bed's on that side as well, isn't it?
Everything's that side, yeah.
Yeah.
The bed, the toilet.
All your inverter, your batteries.
No, the batteries are on the other side.
Okay.
I don't. They can't weigh that much anyway, can they?
I don't know about those little 3 kilo ones. They still got a big block of concrete in them.
Yeah. They're not light, mate. I can assure you, me and Louise have moved ours about 4 or 5 times since I've been doing eating. They're not light.
Yeah.
So that's the plan in the near future. But I was just wondering about. I don't think it would matter, but I just would like a non-return valve. So if the water was pumping out the machine, because we're going to have the sink, I don't want it going back out the sink.
Yeah. He's getting ready for his constant cruising life.
Yeah, hopefully.
When he retires.
Yeah, when I retire.
When he retires. He's just prepping. He's prepping the boat now, so he's ready to roll.
Yeah, but apart from that, the engine bay's bone dry still. Absolutely bone. I might even paint it. It's that dry
really
now.
Funny that was. All that time that dripped in there, and never knew what it was.
2 years I had that. I don't know. It must have been something to do with the fuel filters. But although it never smelled of diesel, it just, I don't know what it was. But it's cured. Bone dry, was the fuel to soak anything up, come out bone dry. Nothing in the engine.
It weren't the water trap from the fuel filter.
No, that's further back.
Oh, is
that's
it?
In the apartment.
That was that sort of material, wasn't it? It was not, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was like a watery sort of.
It was like central heating fluid, because I've got a lorry antifreeze in my central heating. They say you can't, it rots the copper or something. Well, it's been in there 2 or 3 years and it hasn't done it. But that's like a coolant colour, and it was like a coolant come reddish, come watery colour.
Yeah,
it's weird, but it's cured. Touch wood. But that's about it, really.
Cool.
Oh, the track's shut now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I had a wheelbarrow.
I've had a bit of rain though, mate, haven't we?
Yeah, it's done well though.
Yeah, that's late. That's late, isn't it?
Right. So I had a wheelbarrow, the toilet was set back up today and I popped over there.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's all good, mate.
Good. Well, that's good. That's good. That's I'll go on to us then. What we've been up to. Obviously, the last time we did this, we were out on the cut. I think we were at Napton. I think we were at Napton when we last thing. The biggest problem we've had, I mean, while I was out, I did, I don't know if I said this last time, I'm not sure. I did an oil change and a gearbox oil change.
Yeah.
Did I say that last time?
Yeah, you
said you were going to do it.
I did it. I was advised to go for a slightly different oil, which I have done. I didn't know how much the engine takes. I've got no manuals for it at all. So what I did is I got a measuring jug when I emptied it to see how much was going to come out of it. And it was on the right, dipstick height, 1.5 litres. 1.5 litres of oil came out of that engine. So I bought 5 litres. I'm going to get 3 changes out of that. So, and the other one, I did the gearbox. The gearbox with too much oil in it. I checked. It was what we talk about. Was it Worth or Herf? Herf gearbox, yeah. And when I did exactly the same as that, I didn't take the sump plug out because we were out. I didn't want to have any incidents of not being able to get it back in or cross threading it or being out. So I sucked it out with a syringe, it's actually a syringe for car brakes. So it's got a pipe on it. It's like a big pull syringe. So I took all the oil out and I got 500 mil out of it, nearly 550 mil. And after reading the manual for that exact gearbox, it should only have 300 mil in it. And it was over the notch on the dipstick.
Mm-hmm.
So when I replaced it, I just put 300 mil in it and thought I'd see how it goes. And it's literally just over the marker on the dipstick now. But it seems that it hasn't made that much difference, to be fair. We still get that noise now and then, but I'm not sure whether that's when the bearing, what's that bearing called? The one that goes on the prop. What's the main bearing that goes through the what? Sorry,
thrust bearing.
Yeah, the thrust bearing. I've got a feeling it might be that when it gets hot, because it seems to do it when it gets really hot. After you've been cruising for a long time, you get like at certain revs, you get a bit of I want to say whining, but sort of like a not a great noise. And if you back the accelerator off, it goes away. And then if you stop, cool, for an hour, cool off, maybe do the stern gland greaser or whatever, then don't do it again until you've been, and don't do it all the time. So I'm just wondering whether the bearings, the original bearing for the boat,
worry about it. It ain't broken. Carry on.
Just noisy, just makes a bit of a noise. Everyone just sort of looks at you, as in Lisa, looks at you to say, "Well, that's a horrible noise. What's wrong with it?" You just back off the accelerator a bit and it stops. So, but it could be alignment. It could be anything. So we'll have a look at that. But it seems to be going all right. Touch wood. I had no problems. The biggest problem we had when we were out was power. But it's a watch this space, one of those, because we're hopefully going to resolve that issue very shortly. So Mrs. Warner can have longer than a 4-minute shower.
I don't think that.
Yeah, apparently you do. And I think our essentials were long shower, well, longer than 4-minute shower, internet, being able to charge a phone and a computer. That was the 4 must-haves for the boat. So I'm coming up with a power solution as we speak. Mm-hmm. So that will be in our video in the next couple of weeks, and I'll let you know. I'll get on with that next video, next engine room chat.
So did you ever find out what were draining your batteries?
I don't think they were really. They never went below real 12 volts. They've only got 2. That's the thing. There's only 2 in it. I think you've only got 2, so haven't you?
Yeah, 1 leisure, 1 starter.
Oh no, I've got actually 2 leisure and 1 starter. So I've actually got.
Show off.
I think it's one of those. You know what? You got your water pump going. You got your shower pump going. You got your. I mean, the biggest draw in our boat, I hate to say, is Mrs. Warner. Mac is an absolute. It's got one of these rapid chargers, and it just really pulls the power when you plug it in. The batteries will drop. They bounce back when you. It's like what you were saying earlier, Dave. If she plugs it in, the batteries will drop to like 12.2. The second she unplugs it, they'll go back up to 12.5, 12.6. Through the inverter. It just tells them, and we've only got 1 alternator as well. So the actual, and we've still got that split charger. So I'm not 100% convinced. It does charge them I left the solar panel on when we first went out, and all the little green lights they got on the batteries. That actually they were really glowing really well when we went to the battery, but once we were out and using it, they sort of dimmed a little bit and never sort of recovered back to the brightness of they were. We were like 14 volts when we left, and they soon drop off. But I don't know. We're going to keep an eye on it. I've got a solution. Hopefully, I've got a solution for the power crisis in our boat. It's not that bad. It's never dropped below 11.5 or anything like that. It's just, and they're brand new batteries, so it can't be the batteries. So I think the inverter is not the best. I think the inverter might need changing and a couple of other things. But I'm going to do the electrics next year. I'm going to take to get to the electrics, the wiring in our boat. Somebody in their ultimate wisdom basically put all the wiring on the back wall. So you got a fuse box up in the cupboard, and all the wiring goes down the back between the metal of the outer boat and the back wall, and then they put the wardrobe in and the shelves. So any of that wiring to renew it or rerun it, I've got to take the wardrobe out, the shelves out, and the back wall off.
So there's no conduit. You can't run it through conduit or out like that.
No, it's in the wall. It's in the wall. The conduit, the plastic. I've seen the plastic conduit. I mean, that to that degree, when they fitted the inverter, which has not been in there that long, they drilled, because it was going to be such an arse job to get it to where all the other electric was. They just drilled straight through the fire check wall straight into the engine bay.
Through the bulkhead?
No, it's got two. It's past its spears. They're all sealed. They're sealed in there, so you could go higher than them with water in the back, and it shouldn't leak through because they're proper sealed in. But it's they're heavy cables as well. They're as fat as my finger. You know what I mean? They're massive cables. They've made. I was going to move them, but then I've got to then chop the holes up. So I probably will still move them when I redo the wiring. I'm going to put extra wiring in for everything, so there's more wiring than there needs to be. Before I put it all in, I'm going to put some chase conduit in down that wall with string and stuff through it. So if I need to chase anything in the future, I can just pull it through.
Have you not thought about one of those portable battery bank things?
Oh, that could be the thing. So you'll have to wait and see on that one.
See, that's what we're going to do.
Huh?
We're going for one of them great big ones, because I'm faffing about with batteries everywhere. I'm thinking there's a lot of wiring in that. Where that portable box, I just put somewhere and then take it out when I can charge it up.
Watch this space, so I shall enlighten you, and I shall enlighten you how we get on with that power option. So it needs sorting, and I'll get it sorted, and along with all the rest of the wiring. And we've actually decided not to change any of the walls in the back of the boat now. We're going to bed in the back, but not as it's going to be one that folds away. But it'll be open if we stop somewhere for 2 weeks next year. We're going to utilize the front door more and leave the bed made up at the back. Yeah. But it will be able to be put away. I've just got to come up with a plan and make a bit of measurements, check a few measurements, and see what I can get in. Out. He's going to lose too much. So, right. Anyway, so that's me. I'm done. That's me done. Plans for next year. We'll see how they go on, and I'll let you know. I'll get on my power solution next month. The other thing I was going to ask everybody: has anybody done or like nighttime cruising?
Yes, spot on.
How dark?
In the dark. That big light of mine, man. It's lovely.
Pitch black.
How did you get on with it?
Yeah, spot on. It lights it up like daylight.
Yeah.
Yeah, spot on. It was.
Have you done it, Sol?
Yeah, love it. Yeah, I did it a couple of weeks ago. up to Lancaster. It just went dark and we just carried on cruising.
Oh,
Did you?
Yeah, I love it.
Dave, you must have done some
Yes.
nights on.
We when we first put the boat in, when it was just a shell and an engine, we got to get it. We got a 5-hour cruise to get it back to Marina, and we did 3 hours of that in pitch black with no light.
no, I had a light.
Louise was sat on front of the boat with a torch,
Really?
rigging it left, right, left, and yeah, that were interesting. But we have done it a couple of times since. It's all right. Don't mind it. Creek past moored boats and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's all right. It's not something I do regular, but if needs must, then yeah, we've done it.
Well, mine wasn't a needs must. We went on Saturday night. The boat club we're members of decided to do a light procession, and Mrs. Warner thought it'd be a good idea if we joined in. So we covered our boat in fairy lights all over it, literally covered it. And there was 5 boats in total, completely covered, going down the stretch of Milton Keynes, about a 40-minute cruise down to Campbell Park. The nightmare of it is, it was fine, but the flashing lights just put you right off.
Yeah.
You're trying to see. I was following the boat in front of me, and then he disappeared around a corner from under a bridge, and I'm trying to see that it's not. Well, there's 2 or 3 narrowish bridges, and I'm trying to see down the side. And on the way there, it seemed, it was all right, but it was very off-putting. The flashing lights just over the whole boat, and then on the way back, the bit of carnage was where we went down to was near Campbell Wharf, where we used to be moored. And obviously, I went at the back. I thought, I don't want to be at the front, and I don't want to be in the middle. I'll just follow from the back because I've never done it before. So he said, the only trouble being in the back, if you break down, there's no one will know. I said, that's fine. I'm quite happy. I'll just pull over. It's fine. And we got through the real busy bit at Campbell Park. It was boats moored both sides. When I went around the corner where they turn in, and the boats that were at the front had already started to turn. So they turn in, and then they're coming back towards me through a small bridge and boats moored both sides of the canal, and a little tiny space for the boat to fit. Mrs. Warner looked at it, went, "This is a nightmare," and then disappeared inside.
Left it to it.
And kept her head down the whole duration of this debacle of getting through bridge, boats coming the other way. But we did it, and we didn't hit anybody. So, but on the way back, it was absolutely pitch black. On the way back, it had got much darker. It seemed to be much, much darker. We had cloud cover, and it was pouring with rain on the way down. And on the way back, it cleared, and it was a starry night, but no moon. Well, I couldn't see the moon, and it was just pitch black. So I did have to use a torch to keep me left-hand side, because there's no boats moored that side on that stretch of the canal, apart from at Campbell Park, which we'd already passed. And then we went back. And then we have to moor, obviously back in our linear mooring, our straight, try and turn into our linear mooring in the dark. So we did it anyway. Would I would do it again, but not with all the lights on. The lights were the most off-putting thing ever. Just having lights flashing in your eyes constantly from the back. I never would have done it in a 70-foot boat. I would never have even attempted it, to be fair. It was all right in a little 30-foot because you're not that far ahead. But 70-foot, I would have not even... It would have been carnage at that bridge trying to turn that around. in the gap that was there. But anyway, we did it. So that was good. We've done it. I've ticked it off the list of stuff to do. The other thing I'm going to mention, I've got if anyone watching has any questions, I've got a friend who is a BSS assessor, and he is happy to answer any questions that people have regarding BSS or any advice that he can give. He's going to route it through me, so it'll be me that tells you and answers the questions maybe next time, or if someone wants to message us off of thing and any questions. He said he's happy to ask if anyone's got any questions, doubts, or something they need to know about. Then he's happy to answer them. He didn't want to come on, so he just said, "Oh, just ask me the questions," and I said, "I'll relay them through me. That's fine." So if anyone has any questions about that or watches this in the future and just message us direct, and I'll come back to you. And then finally, I'm going to ask this one last question, then we're going to be done. Highlights of 2022 as we're drawing to an end of this year. Has anyone got any cruising narrowboat highlights from the year?
Our fortnight on it. That was really good. Enjoyed it.
What's that? Oh, your fortnight holiday?
Yeah, we went up to Fraserley and then into Birmingham. The Birmingham bit weren't that so good, but
that's part of it though. You have to do it, don't you?
Yeah, it was all right. Apart from that, Birmingham, just so much rubbish in the canal. Drug dealers, bloody syringes, broken glass. It couldn't let the dogs out. Apart from that bit, and that was like only in an afternoon. It's spot on. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So,
how about you, so?
All right,
Just had a met up with a lot of good people this year, actually. Quite a few narrowboaters, and just had some good chats and that. Not done much cruising. Well, we've done the Lanky that many times now, but I'd like to go down to Preston this year. That might happen, but probably
Preston
won't.
Dock.
Yeah, well, down no, not the docks.
Yes,
Don't want to go
the docks, hey.
Yeah, but yeah, I met quite a few good people. Like Crick. That was a really good chitty chat with people.
Yeah.
That was probably the highlight of the year, really. That. Oh no,
Yeah.
seeing Louise and Dave. That was the highlight of the year.
Yeah. Louise and Dave,
You sweet talking.
devil, you sweet talking devil, you.
Having Debbie drive our boat, that were interesting. We chucked her in at the deep end. Me and Sol buggered off and did locks and that fun. Creek were great. We enjoyed Llangollen and Montgomery.
Yeah. Louise said we did. Is it? I can't even pronounce that.
Ponsilius.
Aqueduct. That was amazing.
Yeah, we've done it before, but we did it this year. We sort of like went across it. Lou were playing with a drone while I were boating across. We sort of like went across, turned around, and came straight back across. So that quite good. But yeah, we've. It's just boating, innit? I just love it. I think favourite bits. I don't know. I love it all. I'm just a sucker for boating. We moved boat on Saturday for probably only 2 miles, but I really enjoyed it. And I just enjoy boating.
I must admit, Dave, you are the most dedicated boater that I know. That the amount of travelling that you have to do back and forth to work, back to your boat, is honourable, mate. Honourable. I don't know anyone that would travel that amount of time.
But I see it. A lot of people say that, Glenn, but I see it. I have a weekend away every weekend, and if Lou moves boat, I mean, I'm somewhere different, and
Yeah.
and
The rest of the week,
yeah.
the rest of the week, you're held hostage in your van.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, somebody tried to break in van a couple of weeks ago while I were in bike, but there you go. But no, it's a lifestyle choice, and when we sold up and moved on boat, that was the choice we made.
Yeah.
We've always loved boating, and after 7 or 8 years on boat, would I give it up and move back into an house? No, you'd have to drag me kicking and screaming off at boat. And to be honest, in the last 6 months, the boat's been fighting me, and yes, I got a bit down about it a couple of weeks when you came over, Glenn. I did say that it was getting me down a bit, but you persevere, and that's no different to living in an house, isn't it? You're
still got the same problem, just different problems.
Things break in a house, and you have to decorate, you have to do garden and stuff like that.
Yeah,
we just love the boating lifestyle, and we meet some great people, and if you don't like your neighbours, you can move.
Move on. I saw Dale said he's done 683 miles and 436 locks. I presume that's this year. That's huh?
That's because he's retired.
That's right. Yeah, he's got time. He's got time to do that. Louise said the summer vloggers barbecue was good. And she also said the correct answer, Sol, by the way, was meeting Dave and Louise. Yeah. I did see down here somewhere, a bit further down, which I can't get to, but someone had said that there's a boat light show at Little Venice in London every year, where they do a procession of lit boats. Apparently, that's really good. And Sean BC says we did the Crick to Witham, and despite the weed, we had a great time on the Witham and met some great people, which I think what it's all about, really. To be honest with you, like you said, I think meeting people while we're out is and we've met some since we've been doing boating and vlogging. We've met some great people. 3 of them just here.
Yeah.
So it's and we would never have met them had we not bought a boat. So yeah, so it does, and all walks of life. And I've met some amazing people. Even when we went out 2 weeks ago, that were so close to where I used to live and have come from the same area, and you get to chat. It's great because I'm in the boat in the lock. Lisa's doing the lock, so I get to chat with the person on the back of the boat, find out all about them, and you go for a set of locks with them, and it's good. I like it. Anyway, I think we've chatted on long enough. I think it's been a great chat tonight. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Don't forget BSS questions. Ask them. Send me a message. I'll do my best to answer them next time. So I want to say goodbye from Chili Jam Jeff.
Bye.
Barely Floating Soul. And Narrowboat Change Base Dave, who's up in the other corner. Thanks ever so much, everyone. See you later. Cheers.
Right.